Coming in, yeah.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and as you can see, we are in slightly different surroundings today. Making the cut. It's not taking a break because people are like, oh, you quitting early again. No, basically what's happened is we had a Leicester guest, it fell through. Too short notice to find another Chelsea guest, and obviously as well, with us filming every Wednesday, it means that we're going to sort of miss out on a Southampton guest. So for the next 2 games, you're going to have me sat in a chair talking shit, which is exactly what people seem to love me for, and I seem to be quite good at doing that. Might be why, you know, I made a living doing it for a significant amount of time, and continue to do so when I am cutting hair. On that, by the way, if you do want a haircut, by the way, I'm not just doing this for a mess around, guys. I am actually a barber. So if you want to come and get a trim in this room, make sure you drop me a message on Instagram and we can sort something out. If you need a barber, nice little shape up, skin fade, nice little scissor cut, whatever it is, I can do it for you. I'm not just messing around. I didn't waste my time retraining, but we're not here to talk about that. Before we get into the video, hit the sub button, follow me on the old socials, and we'll go straight into it. We're here to talk about Leicester City at home. Now, obviously, as I said, we're filming this on a Wednesday. Yesterday, I was on the Chelsea podcast with Kerry and Andy, so please do make sure you check that out. I'll leave a link to that down in the description. And yeah, you'd like to think we're fairly confident, but given how the weekend went against Leeds, well, yeah, let's said about that the better. We've not had the best start, have we? It's been an awkward one. We haven't been at the races as much. You thought maybe the Tottenham game was the beginning of something special, but it wasn't. Okay, the bottom line for us was we have been pretty poor for 2 games. One, we got away with it against Everton. Great, because we broke our bogey at Goodison. Actually, finally getting a win there in 5, which is great. Spurs, we turned up, we were robbed, and that was incredibly annoying. And Leeds, the less said, the better. Let's just say my preview with Dan did not age well at all. We were not at the races. We didn't improve. We looked lethargic. And on top of that as well, Kalidou Koulibaly has now got a red card, which means he will miss this game against Leicester City. So what does that mean for us? Well, I don't know is the polite answer to that. I think that we're going to be in a very, very awkward situation now. Are we going to play a 3-back still? Probably. Would this maybe be an opportunity to test things? Definitely. Are we in a position where we need to sign a lot of centre-backs? When I say a lot, maybe 1 or 2, and spend a lot in that? Yes. Do we need to sign some more players in other positions such as midfield or such as maybe the winger position? Yes. I think it's going to be a pretty rough time over the next couple of months. So, overall, we're just a little bit fucked at the minute. So it's only a few games into the season. It's going to take its time. I think, look, when I say we're a bit fucked, I'm just a bit nervous. I think I look at these games, Leicester have not been playing well. They obviously had an awful window where they've not signed anybody. They've had to let players go because they've had too many players in the squad. Ridiculous things like that. And we are now in a position where we're probably going to become Charity FC in that department. We don't know if Kovacic is going to be fit. He might be. Armando Broja might be fit and available. Obviously, as I said, this is recorded on a Wednesday, so I can't actually tell you right now. But obviously, on socials, I'll be talking about it all that time. So do make sure you check out the Twitter and the Instagram. They're kind of on your screen right now. But we're in a position where we need to analyse each game as they come before this window and use it in a good fashion. I think using it in a good fashion isn't spending 95 million on Wesley Fofana. That's potentially could go sideways, but at the same time it could be a huge investment. But I don't think we're going to match that. Obviously, they put in a bid of £70 million with add-ons, which has been rejected by Leicester City. They don't really want to budge. We don't want to go much higher. It is what it is. We just got to find a way to deal with this now and find a solution to this situation, which we had in Levi Colwill, but, you know, is what it is. Again, we're a bit screwed there. But in that entire situation and everything that we need to be doing, we're also looking at spending £60 million on Anthony Gordon. Now, I am a big fan of Anthony Gordon. I think he's a brilliant player. He's not someone who you're going to get to do silky skills and step-overs. And obviously, looking straight at statistics, you're not going to get the strongest return. Was it 8 assists and 4 goals and 60-odd appearances? He's probably going to be used as a wing-back, most likely, left or right, whichever it is. And a utility player, which is what Thomas Tuchel seems to like. We seem to have a talent ID for utility players with him. But having said all of that, is £60 million for Anthony Gordon a good investment? 95 for Wesley Fofana potentially? It just seems that we're not really arguing and just wanting to lay the money down on the table. And obviously, speaking of Leicester, we've been linked with a move for Harry Maguire. I thought it was a joke. Turns out it's not. So, I think the less said about that right now, the better. I think, look, if you get Harry Maguire in a back three, you might actually pick up someone who could do well. He does it for England. Club level, though, is absolutely diabolical. I've seen more manoeuvrability in a fridge. I actually think I can turn faster than Harry Maguire, and that says quite a lot, to be honest, doesn't it? Like, it is what it is. But it's not been a great window. There's been a madness to how we've moved, and it looked like there was a method to it, but I don't know what our talent ID is. You look at the teams at the top. You look at City. You look at, obviously, Liverpool aren't at the top right now. People are winding them up. It's only been 3 games, but they've been consistently there for the past few years, and Klopp's put a very, very strong team. There is a talent ID. There is a method. There is a style. They're signing very particular players that fit that style and have a certain age or whatever. A bit like Arsenal. Arsenal signed a lot of young players to develop for the future. I don't know what our talent idea is. Obviously, we need to build a team for the future, but we also need assets now. Obviously, those assets now could be Khalido Koulibaly. Mark Cucurella is definitely someone who can play as a, now and later on down the line sort of player. But I do question what we're doing. It doesn't make sense that Todd Bowley's become the sporting director, really. Hopefully, by the looks, because he's learnt from that, he's obviously chasing Michael Edwards from Liverpool. So, if he's chasing Michael Edwards, then cool. We're getting a decent sporting director. We're going forward with a plan, with a mission. Cool, great. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel's identified a lot of players he wants. And, I love Thomas Tuchel. I do question some of these choices, but if he's got a method to it, cool. Back him. I want to see what he does. It's nice to see that we're kind of figuring out a plan B as well. We've got that 4 at the back system, which does turn into a 4-2-2 when we're attacking, which is great. So, there are certain things to work on, but at the same time, we're missing big assets in certain positions. I think, look, the Leeds game proved that maybe having Conor Gallagher as a guy to sit in the middle of the park isn't the strongest idea. Maybe having an actual number 6 or an actual box number 8 who's more defensively resolute, because let's be honest, and Palace fans have told me this, and they will say this, Conor Gallagher is not someone who can play in a double pivot. You play him in a 3-man midfield, he's high energy, but he wins it further up the pitch. I feel like the future of Chelsea, for me, and like maybe 3-4 years down the line, you could see a Declan Rice, Mason Mount, and could be Kovacic or Havertz, who we'll talk about in a minute, as that other number 8. I'd love to see the shape that Sarri played with the deep line midfielder. I'd love Ruben Neves personally, but that ain't happening. I think that there's plenty of opportunity and plenty of time to sort of figure out that shape and see the future in that. But Conor Gallagher right now is not someone to play in that double pivot. So we either have to change the shape of the team for what we have within the squad right now, or we need to go out and sign someone in that position, which means more hefty transfer fees, less negotiations, and just throwing money at it, which is great, but are we getting value for it? Again, 60 million, Anthony Gordon, great player, not 60 million pounds. Obviously, there's tax involved with it. You're talking Premier League, you're talking English, you're talking someone who's going to be coming into the side from a direct rival in the Premier League and is one of their biggest assets. So you're going to see a value increase. But 60 million pounds plus a player going the other way in Armando Broja or Conor Gallagher on loan, which is what they're wanting, is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. So is that something we should still be chasing? Not really. Are there cheaper options out there? Absolutely. Should we be chasing those? Definitely. So I think that there's a lot of things that need working on. But as much as I'm criticising here, it's also a good thing. It's good because it's a different thing to look at in this next window. It's a way that we can sort of analyse and figure out certain ways we move forward as a club. This is a teething problem. As a club, we are 4 or 5 weeks behind everybody else. Bear in mind, the takeover process wasn't really completed until the end of last season. They say it was April when he was thereabouts. but it wasn't there, and he wasn't in the hot seat until the season finished. And then off the back of that, Todd Bowley still had to move people on, bring his own people in, develop his own strategies, figure out how everything works, what the methodology of the club is, get his feet under the table. So in that, there is going to be time restraints. So, where, for example, you look at when Roman Abramovich came in and when Todd Bowley's come in, Roman Abramovich came in, brought in Peter Kenyon, brought in people who knew how everything worked, whereas I feel that Todd's kind of come in, wanted to figure out everything and bring his own thing at the same time rather than have that balance. Apparently Bruce Buck and Granovsky are still, consultants, but I don't know about that. I don't know how reliable that information is. But, I think that overall we're in a interesting period. It's good to see the manager getting backed. I think this is the beginning of a project. I really hope it is. I hope it's not just Thomas Tuchel coming in and then sort of being booted out if it's not working out like it was, because I think we've got a manager here who we can build a club in the image of, and does have the assets and the knowledge, and has the drive and passion to make us a very, 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 very good club, respectably at the top of the game, like we have been for the past few years. But rather than having that bounce factor of just things changing, having that drama around the club of constantly flipping managers, which we could afford because we had the structure in place, if we build it in a manager's image and build this club, which is what the next year or 2 years is going to be, I'm fine with that. Look, realistically, I personally don't think we're going to finish top four. I'm someone who's, not often proved wrong, but he does have his moments. But I think that you look at, like I was saying, the clubs are 4 or 5 weeks ahead of us, which we could easily recruit if they get injuries and stuff. Arsenal, for example, because I think Arsenal Spurs finish above us. Arsenal are a club which right now have a very, very, very strong starting 11, but they're an injury away from it going wrong. Gabriel Jesus gets injured. It's the same Arsenal as last year. Solid side, but it's nothing special. And it's Tottenham as well, obviously. They're in a process as well, but they're further ahead than us. They've got that structure. They've got Conte. They've got Paratici. They've got that training ground. They've got that stadium. Everyone takes the mickey out of that stadium, the training ground, said they haven't won any trophies yet. They haven't, but they've now got a manager in Conte and a sporting director in Fabrizio Paratici. I can't remember his first name. In Paratici, who can go on and help them with those things and make them develop. They've both been together at Juventus and know how all of that works. So they're further ahead in the process. But again, their past couple of games against us and against Wolves, they've not been the strongest. So it's a balancing act. I think that is going to be a mini league this year. 3rd, 4th, 5th, I think, is going to be Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea. It's very interchangeable. But I don't think we'll get there. I think we're just lacking that little edge. Obviously, we've got players that have had the quality to get us into those positions before, even in a time when we were struggling under the mental pressure of the sanctions. But it's I don't know. It's a different time. Everyone's on a clean slate, and we'll figure it out as time goes on. But obviously, I want to know your thoughts about that down in the comment section below. I know I've got off on a tangent. I just thought it was something worth talking about. I am actually talking to a few people where we're having a Monday night Chelsea show, so that'll be live. And if you haven't seen it already, obviously with Goonie and with Rants, I'm doing live shows as well, so we can talk about that there and then go in a bit more detail. But right now, Chelsea needs to make investments. We need to make smart investments, but we're leaving it very late to do so. So that's that position we're in. Manchester United looking dangerous after that game. It's been one game again, but if they get their signings, we could be looking at another team going for a top 4 chase. Liverpool will be fine. They will get second, no questions asked. I will be very, very surprised, if they don't. But like I said, it's early doors. We've still got a transfer window to close. We've still got a World Cup. Let's have this conversation at Christmas time and see what's going on. But straight into it, let's talk about Leicester. Now, Chelsea's form, as we've already discussed, has not been great. If we take a little look at Leicester City quickly, theirs has also been absolute dog shit. So if we go through their last few games, if it will let me do it, they lost 2-1 to Southampton, 4-2 to Arsenal, and drew 2-2 with Brentford. So they're yet to get a win on the board. They got 2 points. Brendan Rodgers looks like he's under pressure. They've not signed anybody. They've had to have outgoings because it's not quite worked out for them. The structure of the club seems to be in a bit of turmoil. I think Kasper Schmeichel going surprised the hell out of everybody. And now Leicester are looking lethargic, looking tired. They've got players that don't want to be there. Yuri Tielemans, prime example, wants to move on, but no one's wanted to come in and snap him up. Chelsea Football Club, I think there could be an option there if we go for it. But, you know, just check it. Just check if you want Yuri Tielemans, who can play in a double pivot. He's done it before, okay? But outside of that, we'll move straight back into it. Players that want to be there. Leicester look like they're in turmoil. It automatically looks like 3 points to Leicester City. Chelsea had awful home form last season. I don't think we've improved that much in comparison. Again, it's a new season. I sound like I'm panicking. I sound like I'm not too sure about what's going on. And I'm not too sure about what's going on. I think anybody who comes in with a level of, I know what's happening and I know everything inside the club on YouTube at this point is lying. You know, it's everyone's analysing and trying to figure out what the situations are. You know, we're all in the same boat here because this is a completely new era at Chelsea Football Club. But with that new era has come, as I've already said, disparity between performances. You know, you look at Spurs, it feels like we just turned up for the sake of it. You know, it's because it's Tottenham, but then we've not done it for the other two games, and Leicester is another one. I think if you look at the record between our last, you know, with Leicester in the last few games, we've been pretty strong. You know, at home, we've not really had many issues. Away is when we've had more issues. I actually don't think I've seen us win at Leicester, which I'll have to double check. I'll go through some old results. But, you know, overall, Leicester City coming to Chelsea, it's been a pretty happy hunting ground. But having said that, for us, when I say hunting ground, I mean for us, not for Leicester. But I think that we need to get this win on the board, especially after Leeds. I think that the whole situation and what happened with that game has been a learning curve for everybody, and it has to be. You know, we're in a very, 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 very tough, but also can be a good situation if we come out of it right. We need to come out firing on all cylinders and making a big, big, big difference. This is what needs to happen with Chelsea Football Club at the minute. And for us to get into that strong position, we need to win this game. There is no ifs, buts and maybes. Leicester right now are on their knees. We need to be going for this club. We need to be going and trying to win this game. If you notice, I have not said that we are going to, because I'm not sure. You can't go into it with a sense of confidence, because we do that, you have this whole, what's the word, Joe? It's not overconfidence, but like you have, it's like when someone turns around and they're sort of like, they always, it's a foregone conclusion almost that they're going to win.
Presumptuous?
Yeah, let's go with that. It's very presumptuous. That's not the word I was thinking for, but it's even better. It's very presumptuous of us to go in and think we're going to win, which is exactly what happened at Leeds. And, you know, we thought we'd go in and there was a happy 3 points because Leeds haven't been that great. And then we got outdone by Ted Lasso, who I hate. I actually despise Jesse Marsh. He's a dick. I don't like him. Like him wearing his tight jeans and his runners and look at me in my jumper. Ooh, I use Gandhi quotes to motivate my players. Joe, that's like me when you come in and I use a Gandhi quote to motivate us pre-shoot. That'd be like me kind of, okay guys, we got this. Like Gandhi once said, you wouldn't take me seriously.
It depends how many flowers you had on your shirt or not.
This is it. You don't take it seriously, and we've been done by that. I can't believe it. Now we just need to win. I don't want David Brent to get someone else. Obviously, my answer to David Brent is Armando Broja. The football world's answer to David Brent is Brendan Rodgers. If you've ever seen it, there's an Under Kosh episode where one of the players he played under him was talking about how in a pre-match, I think it was like a team meeting, he just did it all in Spanish, despite there not being a single Spanish player in there. You know, like it's a weird situation. So, look, they need a win. I think a bit more than us, evidently. We need a win so we can keep pushing on and pushing forward. But, my God, we are in a bit of a pickle right now. We need to start sorting ourselves out and pushing on and making a bit of a difference in our games. We need to be more on the front foot. I don't understand playing Reece as a right centre-back. He's so much better as a right wing-back. I get that Ruben Loftus-Cheek's been great there, but Reece James is the best in the world in that position. So if we're playing a 3 at the back, go with that. But I will do another video talking about the formations and the tactics because this has gone on for a little while. But overall, just a little preview, little chat. Hopefully, we do the business against Leicester City. Hopefully, we get some points on the board. And hopefully, my God, I just want to see us win. That's all I want. You know, I haven't been able to deal with this week. I've had the Leeds fans messaging me. There's Leeds fans I know near where I live who've been giving it the big one. I was in a pub and a Leeds fan was in my face and I hated it. I can't stand Leeds United. Leicester City, I just want us to win and get that game. I don't have anything against Leicester. I really like it as a place. I just want us to do the business. That is all we need. But we'll have to see. Obviously, I'll be going live and doing chats and socials and that stuff as the game goes on the day. But as I said, this is filmed on a Wednesday, so you know it is all filmed a lot more early doors, which is why also you get these beautiful shots. You get one main, you get me looking at that camera, and you get the commentary of Joe, who you know just helps me out in the odd situation. But if you have enjoyed this video with a rough little rundown, obviously we don't know the injuries. It looks like Broja might not be available, and it looks like Kante's definitely not available. Might not have Kovacic. We'll have to figure out what the formation will be and how we're going to play in the next video. But guys, if you have enjoyed this, please do make sure you drop a like on the video. Please do tell people where I am. If when I post the links on Twitter and Instagram, if you could share it on stories or let people know that I'm back making content, I really, really appreciate all the love. Obviously, so far as well, we've grown pretty well. It's been fantastic. It's been nice. It's been regular. People have been enjoying the videos. I've been enjoying making them for you. Joe's been enjoying it as well, as of the production team. Nothing to do with the free haircuts they're getting, but you know, outside of that, I'm just hoping they're enjoying it as much as I am. But if you've enjoyed it as well, please do share it. Drop a like on the video, drop a comment, let me know all you think about everything down below. And yeah, follow me on socials, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. See you later. Ta-ra.